as BirdLife. And while we had the time, I wanted to ask Joseph a couple of questions about some of the issues that we're concerned about. But also, I know a couple of the candidates here are from the south of the island, and one thing BirdLife Malta particularly would like to see happen in the near future is to establish something like this in the south of Malta. We do a lot of work in the north of the island, and if Joseph and his colleagues are leading the next government, I hope that we'll be able to work with them to establish something as good as this for the south, because that would be a great achievement. But some questions, if I may.
Please do.
First of all, Joseph has talked about gold plating hunters so that they are treated the same as people in Europe. One of the things that BirdLife is particularly concerned about was what that might mean. And we know that there is a curfew on hunting in the afternoons in September. And I want to ask Joseph directly, does the removal of what you call gold plating mean that we would lose that curfew?
Well, it's better if you make all the questions, so then I do it.
Sure.
Put up
Okay.
Well,
the second question, it was relating to, I've forgotten because I wasn't expecting you to do it in that way. The second question I wanted to ask is to do with treating hunters the same as they are treated in Europe, and the question there relates to the use of derogations, because Malta is the only country in Europe that applies derogations for hunting in spring for turtle, dove and quail, and European legislation and guidance says that that is not best practice and should not really happen. So those are the two questions, the only two questions I have related to hunting. Then I have a couple of other ones not to do with hunting.
Sure. First of all, thank you very much for having us here. It's our pleasure to be here. We are willing, definitely as a party, and also if we're entrusted in office, to continue collaborating with BirdLife and to seeing BirdLife prosper and continue its program of education. We're very intrigued with your suggestion of having a similar reserve in the south. Actually, this is something I was mentioning to, where is he? Ture. I think it does make sense to have such a facility in the south, and we are committed to find a place where this can happen. It does make sense also when it comes to the trajectory of migration of birds. So yes, that's definitely a yes. When it comes to the other questions, we are very clear. First of all, we are totally against illegal hunting, and that is something that there will be a policy where we will not tolerate any sort of bullying or any sort of people taking law in their own hands. So implementation of the current legislation will be definitely secured in a much better way by means of better resources towards the enforcement units that are involved. Secondly, when it comes to the specific rules, we will continue doing what the current government is doing, namely that we will see that such rules are specified by ORNIS, by the ORNIS committee. We don't intend going or imposing our views on the ORNIS committee, so we will rely on what ORNIS is saying. What we mean by the removal of gold plating is that we think that there could be certain rules and regulations which go over and above European rules that can be discussed and can be removed, and obviously within the ORNIS committee. Thirdly, what you mentioned about, remind me, you mentioned
the use of derogations.
The issue of derogations. Yes, derogations. I think there is a package which has been negotiated with the European Union. First of all, we don't intend, or anyone thinking that that sort of package can be renegotiated is not in his right senses, so that is something that we won't do. We are committed to the current framework. That current framework allows the use of derogations, and yes, we will continue using the derogations. I know that's not what you want to hear,
that's
but
okay, at least I know.
We will continue using the derogations as are being provided for right now, but we don't intend to go over and above that, or to try to make a case to go over and above that.
Okay, I heard that you didn't give me a clear answer